Sean John Combs arrives on November 4th, 1969, in Harlem's Mount Sinai Hospital. His mom, Janice Smalls, juggles teaching and model agency side gigs. His father, Melvin Combs, runs with Frank Lucas's heroin outfit and is shot dead in 1972. Sean is just 2. Janice bolts to Mount Vernon, New York. Little Sean grows up on Grandma's gospel, corner store speakers blasting funk, and a survival mantra. Can't stop, won't stop. He earns the nickname Puffy because he huffs and puffs when he cries. Puffy lands at Howard University, business major swagger in a bubble goose jacket. In class, occasionally, at parties, religiously. He cold calls Uptown Records exec Andre Harrell so many times, Harrell finally says, "Fine, intern." Cue 90-hour weeks, fetching cheesecake, scouting talent, dancing on stage behind Heavy D. Within a year, he's a junior A&R, 21-year-old Thundercat signing Jodeci and Mary J. Blige. But his breakneck marketing stunts, he once filled a Father MC video with random high schoolers to fake a fan base, rattle Uptown's suits. Uptown fires him. 23 years old, 2 ways forward: crawl back, record scratch, or build his own empire. Within weeks, Puffy persuades Clive Davis's Arista to bankroll Bad Boy Entertainment, with a distribution pact rumored at $35 million. Insane for an unproven label. He sets up shop at 1710 Broadway, splurging on white leather couches and a neon logo that never sleeps. Enter a 21-year-old Bed-Stuy wordsmith who raps like a baritone freight train. Christopher Biggie Wallace. Puffy hears the 1992 unsigned hype demo, signs him, recuts tracks with polished hooks, and masterminds Ready to Die. 1994. Album goes 6 times platinum. Bad Boy's phone lines melt. Puffy preaches the shiny suit gospel. Sample the hits your parents two-step to, add Mow It, and print singles. Critics call it commercial. The streets? They blast it anyway. 1995 Source Awards, Madison Square Garden. Death Row's Suge Knight taunts Puffy on stage, East vs. West snowballs, and urban radio ratings skyrocket. Puffy dances beside Biggie like a hype man Dali painting. Wide grin, champagne in hand, brand new myth in motion. Tupac Shakur is gunned down in September 1996. Biggie, 6 months later in L.A. conspiracy fog, still hangs. Combs flatly denies involvement. Multiple documentaries paint him villain, victim, or opportunist, depending on the lens. No charges were filed. Biggie's death could have buried the label. Instead, Puffy pulls off one of history's darkest marketing pivots. I'll Be Missing You debuts at number 1 and dominates global charts. Bad Boy is suddenly a morning band cash machine. VIP section. Cristal flowing. Puffy with superstar girlfriend Jennifer Lopez. A scuffle over spilled champagne erupts. Gunfire leaves 3 people wounded. Witnesses claim they see Puffy grab a gun. Others swear he's shielded J-Lo. Rapper Shine, Moses Barrow, is arrested. Combs faces charges of gun possession and bribery. Trial becomes cable news theater. Johnny Cochran spins racial bias. Prosecutors paint Puffy as a reckless mogul. After 7 weeks, the jury acquits Combs on all counts. Shine gets 10 years. Tabloids rejoice. Puff Daddy beats rap. But the court of public opinion starts a quiet side-eye that will shadow him for decades. 2001. He rebrands as P. Diddy and launches Sean John Clothing. CFDA Award 2004. 2007. Inks a 50-50 profit split to market Ciroc vodka. Brand soars from 40 KA cases to 2.1 million by 2014, 2013. Founds Revolt TV, pitching the ESPN of music. Forbes anoints him hip-hop's first billionaire candidate. LOX, Mace, Danity Kane, Day 26, decades of bad boy signees claim onerous contracts, withheld royalties, or psychological manipulation. Combs calls the accusations revisionist histories, later offering to return publishing rights in 2023. Critics say the catalogs were nearly worthless by then. 2023 cracks the dam. R&B star Cassie Ventura sues, alleging a decade of rape, beatings, and sex trafficking coercion. Case settles in 24 hours. Combs admits nothing. Within months, 4 more women and 1 producer file lawsuits detailing everything from filmed assaults to underage grooming. Combs's lawyers call each claim money grabs. Then, March 25, 2024. Homeland Security raids 2 of his mansions. Media helicopters circle like vultures. Internet conspiracy engines redline. You can't talk about the alleged empire of crime without first talking about 135th Street and the smell of Jamaican beef patties drifting up from Kennedy Fried Chicken. Sean John Combs, baby Diddy, was born in Harlem in 1969, 3 blocks from the Apollo. His father, Melvin, ran with Frank Lucas's heroin outfit. His mother, Janice, juggled nursing school and cleaning houses. When Sean was 2, Melvin was shot to pieces in a Lincoln parked near Central Park West. Police blamed a drug dispute. Harlem called it a graduation ceremony. The street granting you your diploma in bullet holes. That void becomes the first ghost in Diddy's story. A hole money can't fill, but power might. By junior high, he's flipping newspapers, DJing basement parties, and studying Scarface-like scripture. In 1986, he's off to Mount St. Michael Academy in the Bronx, then Howard University, a historically black school that functions as an entrepreneurial dojo. Every hustle, promoter, stylist, party plug, happens in D.C. hallways that smell like incense and ambition. Friends remember 2 things: relentless charm. He could sell eczema cream to a statue. A notebook of names. Anyone with clout got listed, underlined, and monetized later. Keep that ledger in mind. Prosecutors eventually will. 1987 to 1991. Intern to an executive at Uptown Records, churning out Celebrity Makes It Rain R&B videos for Heavy D and Mary J. Blige. He fires interns for yawning, books $100 a ticket parties at Howard, and gets expelled for absenteeism, but returns wearing a Rolex and a grin. 1992. Andre Harrell fires him for too much heat. The industry translation for lawsuits waiting to happen. Diddy flips exile into independence and launches Bad Boy Entertainment in a borrowed office with desks made from old doors. 1993 to 1994. He signs Christopher Wallace, a.k.a. the Notorious B.I.G. The marketing blitz, Jesus Pieces plus Versace plus Corner Boy Pathos, prints multi-platinum plaques. Rumblings start, studio fights. Engineers claim late-night pistol whippings over missed deadlines. Pay-for-play radio schemes. Nothing proven. Everything is profitable. Parties where models must surrender phones at the door. Witnesses later tell FBI investigators those gatherings are the petri dish for Combs's eventual racketeering indictment. 1997. B.I.G. is murdered in L.A. rivalries, revenge, or record label insurance conspiracy. Pick your documentary. But Biggie's death does 2 things. Freezes Diddy in permanent mourning gear. Black suits, dark shades, a single tear for the cameras. Gives him his first #1 solo record, I'll Be Missing You, and a $250 million company. Tragedy monetized at scale. Club New York shooting, December 27, 1999. Gunfire after a champagne-spraying flex goes wrong. Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, and rapper Shine sprint out a side door. Shine goes to prison. Puff beats the rap, but civil plaintiffs say money hushes mouths. Making the band. Reality TV profits mask contract clauses. Critics call modern sharecropping. 360 deals, writer credit swaps, 10 album options that never see daylight. Revolving door employees. Several bodyguards later sued, alleging unpaid overtime and on-the-job beatings. Settlements sealed. Kim Porter's 2005 deposition, unsealed 2024. Porter, mother of 3 of Diddy's children, states she witnessed non-consensual sex acts at mansion parties. Lawyers for Combs call it fantasy. Porter's sudden 2018 death from pneumonia will fuel conspiracy forums for years. Behind the gloss, Bad Boy morphs into what federal indictments will eventually label a continuing criminal enterprise, alleging sex trafficking procurement, interstate narcotics distribution, Molly and cocaine to keep the vibe up. Witness intimidation running from death threats to 6-figure hush payments. The Department of Homeland Security won't pounce until March the 25th, 2024. But investigators later testify the paper trail begins right here, in the shiny suit era's after parties. The 2010s bring both billionaire valuations and the social media panopticon. NDA culture phrase. Ex-employees tweet, bloggers publish blind items. 2016. Diddy's former chef, Cindy Rueda, files suit alleging she was forced to serve meals during sex acts and was offered money to be quiet. Settled confidentially. 2019. Musician Lil Rodney, Lil Rod Jones, accuses Combs of sexual battery and withholding royalties. Case tossed on statute limitations, refiled 2024 under new NY Adult Survivors Act. November 2023. Cassie Ventura, ex-girlfriend and former Bad Boy artist, files a 35-page federal complaint detailing rape, human trafficking, and forced drug use. Diddy settles within 24 hours for a reported $30 million, denying wrongdoing but citing peace. December 2023. February 2024. 3 more civil suits, producers, models, a male music exec. Echo similar patterns. Grooming at 18 or younger. Drugs, filmed coercion, and NDA threats. March the 25th, 2024. DHS and HSI agents raid Combs's homes in LA and Miami. Electronic devices seized, alleged victim safe house uncovered. Combs's lawyers brand the operation a media stunt. Prosecutors unveil a sealed RICO indictment 2 months later, rolling sex trafficking, drug, and money laundering counts into a single federal sledgehammer. Diddy pleads not guilty to all charges. Trial begins May 2025. Testimony includes bribery, ecstasy binges, and break-ins. Tonight, you're 13 floors up in the Tony-rented projects at 1325 Harlem River Drive, apartment 12B, and the hallway smells like whatever's leaking out of the incinerator chute. Little Sean is 9, rocking penny loafers with no pennies, blasting his mom Janice's Diana Ross 45s on a busted plastic turntable. Dad's already gone, gunned down in 72 while hustling for Frank Lucas. So Sean turns the volume all the way up, because when life's a void, you fill it with bass. Fast forward. Howard University, 1988. You're an 18-year-old business major with a pager. Cutting class to sneak down I-95 in your friend's wheezy Honda to promote a teen charity concert that'll lose $2,000, but make you believe you can move a metropolis with flyers and charm. Andre Harrell sees the hustle, hires you at Uptown, and suddenly you're a 22-year-old intern who never sleeps and never shuts up, inventing street teams, yelling ideas about Mary J. Blige hooks, and swagger walking the hallways in suits you can't afford yet. Then, boom, Harrell fires you for being too extra. Translation: you greenlit a $35,000 Joe's Diner music video set without asking. Instead of sulking, you call every phone number in your Rolodex, borrow $30,000, and in one sleepless weekend incorporate bad boy entertainment inside your mom's kitchen. Biggie gets signed. The Flava in Ya Ear remix detonates. And by the summer of 1994, you're ruling Hot 97 rotations like Zeus with a marketing degree. You rent a 16-room Westchester mansion, throw red cup pool parties that last 3 days, and reinvent yourself as Puff Daddy, the loudest ad-lib in every chorus. December 27, 1999. Club New York, Times Square. Your VIP booth is drowning in Cristal and rumor. Jennifer Lopez is on your arm. Jamal Shine Barrow is on security detail, and some dude allegedly hurls cash stack shade at your chain. 2:55 a.m. Glasses shatter, 3 shots crack, bodies dive. 10 chaotic seconds later, Jennifer's Gucci dress is splattered, a bystander's face is shredded, and nightclub security drags you through a back stairwell, clutching a 9mm that prosecutors will claim your driver tried to ditch in a Lincoln Navigator. The tabloid hurricane is instant. You're arrested, arraigned on gun possession and bribery, slapped with a $50,000 bail, and rebranded overnight from Jiggy to Trigger Happy. Shine ends up with 10 years. You walk free after a 9-week trial when the jury deadlocks on credibility and the judge says not guilty. But the price tag? Roughly $4 million in legal fees, a public apology tour, and the first crack in the invincible Puff Daddy mythos. From now on, every champagne pop sounds like a ricochet. You pivot harder than a Wall Street day trader with caffeine mania. First, the P. Diddy rebrand, because changing your name is cheaper than therapy. Then Sean John, a clothing line that puts baggy velour and faux astrakhan on both rap videos and Macy's mannequins. By 2003, it's clearing $450 million a year. You schmooze with Clive Davis, produce Making the Band, turn the cheesecake runs into meme lore, and earn 2 Grammys you'll later leave in the studio bathroom like casual decor. Yet the lawsuits keep stacking like advanced-level Tetris. 2007 Miami paparazzo beatdown. Civil settlement. 2016 ex-chef wrongful termination suit. Sealed terms. 2023 Cassie Ventura files explosive sex trafficking, rape, and coercion complaint. Settles in 24 hours for reported 8 figures. You deny everything on Instagram Live, declaring love wins, while the internet splices your statement with ominous law and order gongs. March 25th, 2024. Sunrise in L.A. Federal agents in windbreakers swarm your Holmby Hills compound and simultaneously hit your Miami Star Island mansion. They seize hard drives, cash bricks, and enough Key Rock flavors to cater Burning Man. Homeland Security investigations confirm a multi-state sex trafficking probe. Your private jet, tail number N151QS, scrambles from Antigua but lands in Miami to face a friendly-looking CBP welcoming committee. TMZ beams the footage worldwide before you can finish that mid-air mimosa. October 2024. A 42-page federal indictment drops. RACO, sex trafficking by force, wire fraud, tax evasion, plus a spicy transportation for purposes of prostitution count. Prosecutors claim a decade-long harem rotation system managed via NDAs and burner phones. You plead not guilty, hire the best lawyer's money and revolt stock can buy, and watch bail get denied. 3 times. Inside Brooklyn's MDC, you allegedly runs the rec yard like a reluctant camp counselor, teaching old head hustlers breathing exercises you learned from Russell Simmons's yoga retreat. Outside, ex-bad boy artists flood podcasts with memoir-level tea. Number Diddy docs trend weekly. May 5th, 2025. Jury selection. Prosecutors parade former assistants who describe freak-off parties, with phones in yonder pouches and hotel rooms wallpapered in blackout curtains. Defense paints you as an innovative black entrepreneur targeted by moral panic. Day 4, a witness sobs describing pistol whips over missed flights. The gallery gasps. TikTok melts. Vintage VHS of a 22-year-old puff-riding shotgun in Biggie's Lexus. Freestyle laughing about sky's the limit. Courtroom stills of a 55-year-old defendant in tan jail khakis, head bowed behind frosted glass. Split-screen headlines. Forbes billionaire list. RICO trial day 17. Your lawyer quotes Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Prosecutor snaps back with James Baldwin. Perhaps the terrible thing is that everyone has a destiny, but no one has character. The jury files out. Cameras click like cicadas. Whatever the verdict, the culture must now reconcile 2 avatars. Puff the hitmaker and Combs the alleged predator. Spotify algorithms stutter. Kids who once danced the Mo Money jig at school carnivals now side-eye your genius interviews for hidden confessions. Some say cancellation is the new stocks and pillory. Others call it overdue justice. Either way, the morale, build a mountain high enough, and the avalanche is self-made. 2 ballistic vests with Bad Boy End. Insignia plates and 1 level 3A vest with a single through-and-through round impact. $115,960 in heat-sealed currency bricks. 6 passports in the name of Sean Love Combs with different issue dates. A studio reel case labeled Daddy's House 95 to 96 Masters, containing 2-inch Ampex tape reels. Agents also cataloged a fireproof vault room off the primary bedroom in Holmby Hills. Inside were 15 full-size 120-minute Panasonic Mini DV cassettes, 12 high 8 tapes, and 3 external SSD dumps made in 2019. According to a heavily redacted affidavit unsealed in April 2025, each cassette had a handwritten spine code. Freakoff 06, Studio NY09, Vault Keys 12, Kim PT1, WB Las Vegas, among others, and most bore date stamps ranging from 2003 to 2017. Federal technicians previewed the first 3 minutes of every tape to establish probable cause provenance. Freakoff 06 opens with a wide shot of a private Caribbean villa. The camera pans across alcohol bottles, loose cash, and white powder on a glass table. At roughly the 6:45 time code, Combs appears directing what prosecutors later called commercial-scale prostitution. All visible participants appear to be adults, but faces were blurred when a still was introduced at the May 1st evidentiary hearing. Studio NY09 shows Combs in a Manhattan control room flanked by two women. The warrant calls apparent late teens, soon early 20s. One segment depicts a firearm passed around and brandished while cocaine is racked into lines. Because the women's ages were uncertain, HSI referred a copy to the Manhattan Child Exploitation and Obscenity section for age testing. No CP charges have been filed to date. Vault Keys 12 is a 2-hour continuous shot of Combs and an unidentified accountant counting shrink-wrapped bricks of cash and gold coins against a laptop ledger. A voice off-camera jokes, "We move more weight than Bad Boy did units." The video stopped abruptly when the cameraman apparently noticed himself being filmed in a mirror and set the camcorder down. Several tapes have proven at least historically significant. Daddy's House 95 to 96 Masters includes raw studio takes of Biggie's verse for Hypnotize, with alternate ad-libs that musicologists confirm have never circulated on bootlegs. The estate has already served a preservation subpoena so that any commercially viable outtakes can be negotiated for future release. Another High 8 cassette labeled Big N Las Vegas 2.97 shows Wallace, Combs, and at least 4 security staff in the MGM Grand parking garage the night before the Tyson Holyfield fight. While the clip ends before Suge Knight's entourage appears, LAPD says it is reviewing whether any faces match persons of interest still alive. Press coverage of the seized sexual tapes understandably fixated on a mini DV labeled simply CASS 2012. Excerpts played under seal to the federal magistrate depict a violent altercation, consistent with allegations Cassandra Ventura lodged in her 2023 civil complaint, and settled the next day for reported 8-figure sum. Prosecutors did not release dialogue transcripts, but an FBI 302 summary notes that Combs is seen slapping the victim with an open hand, kicking her twice while she is on the ground, then ordering a third party to continue recording. The totality of the physical evidence now occupies more than 410 cubic feet in an HSI secure warehouse in Miramar, Florida. A partial manifest leaked to the Miami Herald lists 47 garments tagged as potential DNA substrates, 6 Ziploc bags of suspected marijuana flower, and 5 sets of keys to vehicles registered to shell companies in Delaware and Anguilla. For context, the government's property room for the entire Jeffrey Epstein case fit into 305 cubic feet. The Combs Hall is, by square footage, the largest non-terrorism seizure HSI has handled since the Silk Road takedown. As for the lawsuit's verdict day fallout, city lawyers closed their file in 2007, but the Biggie estate still keeps a standing FOIA request for any LAPD material newly declassified. Each January, the department sends a 2-page letter. No responsive documents at this time. Investigators retained by the estate say they're now focused on the Combs tapes for leads. Specifically, any background chatter that places bodyguards tied to off-duty LAPD cops in the same orbit. One retired detective who testified during the 2002 mistrial told Rolling Stone this year that if even a single frame shows a Rampart-era officer moonlighting for Combs after 1997, you will see the city back in court quicker than you can say wrongful death Part 2. Nothing in the 2005 settlement prevents a fresh civil action if new facts emerge, and California's discovery rule would restart the statute of limitations the moment the estate could prove LAPD concealed tape evidence. Whether the seized videos actually contain that smoking gun crossover remains a matter of speculation. Only 2 investigators, 1 assistant U.S. attorney and a federal magistrate, have viewed more than 60 contiguous seconds of any single tape. The estate's lawyers have petitioned to intervene under the Crime Victims' Rights Act to inspect the Big NLAS Vegas reel. The government has opposed, citing an ongoing grand jury probe. So, the epilogue, for now, is a mirror of 2005. A family still waiting in the hallway of the American justice system, hoping that the next unsealed exhibit will do what the last one could not: bridge the gap between civil dollars and criminal accountability. In the meantime, the cataloged artifacts of Sean Combs' private world, guns, pills, a silver spoon glazed with residue, reels of once-lost music, and nights of excess committed to magnetic tape, sit on climate-controlled shelves, potential evidence against him, and, perhaps by proxy, a belated breadcrumb trail toward the truth of who took Christopher Wallace's life 28 years ago. I want you to reflect on all you have heard so far. Ask yourself, can I be the next diddler? Let me give you some time to think about it. Let me know your answer in the comments. And if you fall asleep listening to this, he might come for you too. Keep the oil warmed up.